Well, hello.
Hey,
Hi, Jojo.
can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Wow, cool.
I hope everyone is good. We're having just, a wonderful time.
Wonderful day.
Wonderful, wonderful day.
Is
Yeah,
Boston coming in tonight?
all Jojo. Ellen Dragon, my friend, hello. But y'all keep Kendall in your prayers. She's kind of having a hard time. Her very beloved baby, her puppy, is not doing real good. So she is
Mm.
cuddled up with her tonight. Um, hey, Stevie. I'm gonna get it out of the way. Stevie, behave. I'm just gonna get it out there. It's gonna be a day where she is behaving, but I just had to say it because last time I didn't say it and she missed me saying it. Um,
Stevie, Stevie, Stevie.
yeah. So she Emma is not doing the greatest, and
No, she's 17, and her date to to leave us is Tuesday. And that decision was made today, and it's just a hard one.
yeah, they were gonna do it in January. They were gonna get through the holidays, and she's just not having a couple of yesterday. Was it yesterday she started having seizures, and so she's
Yeah.
just not okay. And so, um, after watching her today, Kendall just decided that gonna let the kids say goodbye, the grandbaby say goodbye to her this weekend, and let her go peacefully. And
Yeah.
that's never easy. It sucks. Um, and it sucks that it has to be on my birthday. I'm just saying.
I know.
I'm like, dang it. Um,
I credit Emma for getting me through all the chemo, and she was right beside me all the way.
so
But
I read
you gotta love them enough to do what's best for them.
right, right. We have to be unselfish in that moment because
Yeah.
selfishly, keeping them forever is what we would want. But
I
you know, I
want her
read,
this. I want her here this Christmas so bad, but
you know,
today,
I read somewhere, we love them for a very short time, but they love us their whole life, and so you
yeah.
know, you get to keep that you gave her the very best to the very end. And she had a very special dinner, so she gets to eat whatever she wants at this point.
Yeah, she is. But she did take 3 bites, which
Well,
is
that's
more
good.
than she's taken the last 24 hours. So,
Yeah, yeah, that's good. Well, I guys, Kendall and I will be getting our books, Gypsy's book, in the next few days. We're getting special copies, and I'm going to share that in members only. Talking about the book and basically like a book club for our members and just our way of sharing some things on the gypsy side of the world. Um, you know,
we're
some,
kind of down the middle. So,
yeah, well, like, we don't sit on either side, to be honest. And
mm-mm.
Christy, said the other day that she likes the fact that even though we support the the psychological and abuse side of things with Gypsy to this on this at this point we still hold her accountable for
Yeah.
things that she needs to be held accountable for, and we don't hold a blind eye, and we're very unbiased in that,
Hmm.
and they appreciate that.
Well,
So
Christy knows that I don't mind. Me and Christy's had some very long conversations of situations that she knows we don't care to call it out. And they like, okay, come on,
right,
you know.
pull
So,
your head out, chick, pull your head out. But we're getting our little special copies, and I will share those with um, those that we're close with over here. Um, I'm not going to get into a big ugly debate with people. It's not going to be about arguing, and people will have the right to their opinion, but they're going to respect the fact I have mine. Um,
right.
Thank you, Jojo. And there's been a few times even Kendall thought her and I didn't agree, but really we agree. We just take a different angle of how we see it.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, when the other day we had something, they were like, well, wait, she's like, yeah, but you're even softer on this. And she's talking. And I'm like, but wait, that's not what I said. And then I explained, she's like, oh, yeah, well, I mean, we're on the same page there. We just go at different angles with it.
Some of this stuff though that they've got out right now, it's hilarious to me that somebody can just make up a lie, just pull it out of the air, run with it. The creators start doing videos about it, and nobody fact checks anything or
and
fact
when,
checks even the people saying it, and it's
right,
just
well, and when
crazy to me.
math isn't mathing, then the story has to be questioned, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the new one on the Habitat for Humanity house, guys, we've already proven that there was fake GoFundMe's out in Gypsy's name because Gypsy, because of the cons that Dee Dee and her had pulled with GoFundMe, they cannot have GoFundMe's at all. So when the GoFundMe thing came out, we went back and looked that up. Those were proven false. Those were fake by other people using Gypsy's name to try
Mm-hmm.
and grift for money. Because Gypsy cannot have a GoFundMe. GoFundMe will not allow her to have a GoFundMe.
See, I
So
didn't I didn't know that.
yeah, see that I had known,
Mm-mm.
and
I didn't know that, but I knew the GoFundMe's were fake. Some of the stuff is just easy to tell that it's fake and that it's just you know
right. Well,
people trying to
at
find
first
other
glance, we're,
reasons.
at first glance, we're like, "What the fuck is she doing?" And then you get to reading on it and looking like, "Wait a minute, this ain't even the right area, and this ain't even the right thing." And it just takes a minute, but then we got those removed, and then and now they've got this Habitat for Humanity house. Well, for one, they're blaming Christy with no proof it's Christy, other than they're saying the signature isn't Gypsy's signature. Well,
So
then
some stranger just pops up, tells this wild, crazy tale, and I don't know who was asking
and
the
she has the
questions, but
paperwork, mind you. She said she has the paperwork, but because of the rules with Habitat, we can't show it.
okay,
Bullshit.
but the rules of Habitat for Humanity is that you can go public and talk about somebody's
Right,
personal dealings back then. No, don't think you would be able to do that. If you can't
right,
do one, you shouldn't be able to do the other. But there were so many things she said. It was easy to count your fingers and toes. It don't add up.
right. It just
Um,
doesn't. That alone to me was a red flag. Um,
and there's some smart people that are running with it that I know were intelligent enough to figure it out that it's just somebody making up another story if they wanted it to be another story. If they didn't want it to be true, it's easy to
right.
say it's not true. They're not stupid to do something like that.
But it's easier to paint Gypsy and Christy as the villains. It's monetarily
Yeah, it
beneficial to
pays.
creators. Look,
It
it
pays
doesn't.
well.
When I because I tend to stay more on the Gypsy side, I can tell you what I'm not bringing in the numbers on that versus creators who are on the hate side of things, and it is just what it is. But I'm not. Look, I'm not. I can't be bought. Let's just say that. I've been
Mm-mm.
accused of being on the payroll. Um, I ain't bought. Hey,
I still ain't
Boston.
got my frog legs that I was promised for being on the payroll.
I hope you're okay, Boston. I know you told me earlier that you were just having a day. Um,
Me too, Boston. Me too.
yeah, it seems to be that time of year, sadly, or that week. I mean, it just that their group of people are going through it. I hate that y'all are going through it, but we went through it with the same person not too long ago. Just saying. Um, I love you too, Boston. And with the whole, I just don't know. I just don't know. I don't. I'm so frustrated with it. In my opinion, if there really is an application in Habitat for Humanity for Gypsy, multiple applications evidently, it's the same scenario as the GoFundMe's, people doing it in Gypsy's name.
Mm-hmm.
Because guys, Gypsy's made donations recently in the past few months to Habitat for Humanity. And one of the other ones, I can't remember, Make a Wish was the other one.
Make a wish. Yeah.
I'm going to be getting
She's
those
done several other things too that people don't know about,
right.
and
And
she can't she can't put it out there that, hey, this is what I did, trying to, fix some of the wrongs, because then people throw it at her that, oh, she's just out, she gotta, she's got to
Right,
show
but
it.
then they want her to show proof, and then when she shows proof, then she's doing it
Right,
for
she
clout.
can't win
So
either way. So I I don't blame her at this point in time for just not caring
right,
what people think. But this Habitat for Humanity, and then there was something else too that they had come up with, that's just like, people are chomping at the bits and so excited that it that people are saying that they just want to believe it, like the thrill in their eyes that something like this could be true,
right,
when if something like that was true, it wouldn't be nothing to be excited about, it would be disgusting. But there's
right.
excitement in these people's eyes that something like that has been said, and
Well,
there might be proof, but I
and
promise
let's
you it
face
didn't
it,
come from that
if it
family.
if it was fact that it happened and it came from that family, y'all don't trust me. Kendall and I would be saying something.
In a heartbeat.
I would go privately first because I do owe Christy that privately first, and then publicly I would call that shit out. Because then I'm a hypocrite if I don't, right? And
Mhm.
and Christy knows that. Christy knows that.
It
We
just
tell
amazes
her
me that somebody can pop up and just pull something out of the air and tell it, and everyone goes running with it.
right,
But then sits back and bitches about not fact checking other stuff. Well, eh, what's it's good for both sides. Everybody needs to fact check. But
hmm
no, it's just easier to run with it.
but and so last week I didn't do any lives, guys, and Kendall has been working her ass off. It's finally getting somewhat normal, maybe
A little bit.
a
A little
little
bit.
more normal than it had been. Um, and and I was doing the thing at the mall. We've decided not to do the month of December. Um, as crazy busy as the mall was, there was an incident on Saturday with a bunch of youth that were causing some problems and made me a little bit nervous. And the security dude was like in his 60s, 70s, and did not look like he was moving too good. And we had not seen him all day because he was actually supposed to come get me so I could go to the office and use the internet for some custom orders that I had. And he never showed up. And finally, after these kids have destroyed the area we're in over by we're by Santa Claus, and like it was bad. It was so bad. Um, we did not think to carry my husband's weapon with us that day, and we were both a little bit nervous. Like we were looking, like the stores around us were shutting their doors, keeping customers in and shutting doors. It was that bad, and I'm at a kiosk thing, so it was a little unnerving.
No
I did
protection.
You're right. Nowhere to go either. And so I did not feel that there was enough things in place to be protective and just not enough. I was promised internet so that I could do custom orders, and that was a big joke. And that was my whole meal ticket. I mean, and so we just decided that it just wasn't feasible. Not to mention with the AS flare that I had getting worse. I have my right leg is fairly numb, and I can only feel half of my foot. So uh, I'm like, yeah, this isn't going to be safe to be here for 12 hours a day. So we just decided it's just not a good idea. But I do have an event tomorrow, a Christmas tree lighting event tomorrow that I'm going to and setting up. So
Lay down.
today's today's been hectic. Um,
Lay down,
and
honey. Lay down.
but Tuesday, even though Kendall is going to have a really, really bad Tuesday, um, hopefully she can join us. If not, the rest of you better be here because it's my birthday and I'm going to go live and show funny videos and just laugh and giggle and have some fun. Kendall's going to be needing that. Hopefully she can make it. If
Yeah, I'll need her appointments at 1 o'clock. So
okay, and if not, we understand. But and so I'm turning the big 5-2. I'm just kind of like, ugh, where did time go? Where did time go? Oh. And so, thank you, LM Dragon. Oh, you're a Sag too. When is your birthday, LM Dragon? My friend that came in here not too long ago, Alexis, and she had a black heart. Her birthday is the same day, so we're birthday twins. So I need to tag her and have her come over and celebrate. We were in Cromwellville together.
Johnny, leave her alone.
He's not understanding. He knows something's up.
He's
And
cleaning
so
her like a cat.
that's part of loving her. Yeah.
I've never seen him do that. He just,
Oh, Ellen Dragon's nearly a Christmas baby. Hers is the 20th. And I thought mine was bad on the 10th. Ugh, so sorry. See,
Chase is in December too, and he's always just gotten
when is
screwed at Christmas.
Chase's?
Do what?
When is his?
At the end of December.
Oh, see, we just get right around Christmas. You just kind of get screwed. For me, it was when my kids were little because all of our money went to the kids for Christmas, so we just didn't worry about my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And we were going to go down to Kerrville and take a wine trip for my birthday this year, and I decided to spend the money on the mall. So, but then with my leg doing what it's doing, we're just kind of like, it's just not a good idea. So maybe after the first of the year, we'll take a trip for that. But
With Chase, we always, because when he was little, Christmas and then his birthday back to back, we tried to do his birthday before Christmas, even though it's after Christmas, and it got him decorations and everything to make it feel like he was getting a special day.
right.
But it was just hard when the kids were little and Christmas and his birthday so close.
Look at Ellen Dragons. Her dad's was the 26th, her mom's was the 15th, and hers is the 20th. Like, that's crazy. So much for Christmas at your house. My sister's birthday is 12/31, so she gets a New Year's birthday. But so tonight, let's talk about Sarah Boone and the craziness that is this case. I don't know how many of y'all have watched anything with this case. This woman is just flat out cuckoo cachoo, like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs on crack.
I
Uh,
tell you, she's going to be studied in all these psychology classes.
I agree. Like,
Her sentencing statement was unbelievable.
I just
I've
I
never in
listened
my
to it
life
again
heard anything
today,
like
and I'm
that.
just sitting there shaking my head the whole time. Well, even the 911 call, I'm going to play that in a minute too. Yes, the suitcase
Yes,
case.
the suitcase.
Um, and she, I'm going to talk about some of the case and then coming up, and then we're going to talk about the letters that she wrote to the
The
court,
judge.
the judge for her divorce, for her alimony and stuff. Because she got mad. In one of the letters, she's literally mad because her bank account was closed after having it for 30 years because she's in prison and she has nowhere for the money to go, and he's no longer paying the alimony. And so they basically put a pause on it until after the criminal case was done, and then they would come back to it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So
So
she was
she's
still,
upset that she's not getting alimony while she's in prison,
yes,
but he is now sole custody of their child.
right. Right.
I would be saying, take my alimony since I can't be in my child's life that much anymore.
She was offered a 15-year plea deal for manslaughter, and
And
she
done
took
served
it.
4 years of it.
Yeah. So she would have been out. She would have been able for parole in probably 2 years, 3 years, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I no, it would have been more because it's probably
Probably
80%.
about 8.
Yeah. So yeah, she would have been out in just a few years.
And now she's life.
And in some of these letters, I'm going to play videos of the letters because there's a couple of channels that have read the letters, and it was easier than me trying to pull them up. Trying to find them today was crazy because I am multitasking multiple things, and so it was just a little bit
But
crazy.
I still don't believe she meant to kill him.
I don't either. I don't either. I do think it was an accident. I think they were drunk. I think she
Mm-hmm.
passed the fuck out, and it happened.
I
Now,
think when you add alcohol, poverty, a volatile relationship, it's going to end badly. But I
right
don't believe she zipped him up or hit him with the bat with the intentions of I'm going to take his life.
now,
And it still surprises me she got convicted of what she did and got the sentence she did. And I think
I
she was
do question because they did put it forth about it possibly her shoving the suitcase down the stairs because there was a mark on his head,
mm-hmm.
um, or hitting him with the bat. So I do kind of wonder if maybe the hide and seek wasn't upstairs and she was so pissed off she just shoved it down the stairs.
I mean, I think she got the conviction that she did because of who she is, her personality.
Oh, Stevie, I will be covering Megan and the Evelyn Boswell case because I was following that because that case happened at the same time we had Gannon Stauch's case happen. So we had Gannon Stauch, we had the Vallow case, and we had the Boswell case, all in just a few months of each other. And so that I'm curious to see where they go with this case. That she just that's another one with poverty and weird family, and I don't know, it's a sad case, but I definitely, maybe I can get it to where I can stream the trial. I'll be in school at that time because I am going to start probably mid-January for my real estate license. Yeah, that's why I'm going to try to stream the trial, Stevie, so I can do the whole details. But let's see. Let's start with a 911 call for this one. Because this was pretty telling on here.
4748, what's the street name?
France, FRANTD.
And the apartment number?
3.
Is this a police or medical?
My boyfriend is dead.
So
That's
cold.
just so cold and callous. Like, my boyfriend's dead. Just, I can't.
She's cold.
Very cold. Just
I
no
just believe
emotion,
it's a personality disorder.
no tears, no nothing. Like, had that been me, I think I would be pretty emotional that I just found my boyfriend dead. I can't get over that.
It's on the line for the fire department. Do not hang up.
Fire rescue. What's the location, Mercy?
That's 32.
No, please don't leave.
4748 France Lane, apartment 3,
France Court.
France Court.
Yes.
Okay, is this near Mackenzie Drive?
I don't know where that is.
Okay, fine, okay.
It's Hillwood Park Apartments.
Okay, 4748 France, correct?
Correct.
All right, correct. Now tell me exactly what happened there.
My boyfriend and I were playing last night, and
Mm-hmm.
I put him in his case and we were playing. And
Okay.
like kind of hide and seek kind of thing. So I fell asleep and I woke up and he was dead in the suitcase. So I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened.
Right, okay, what's your apartment number?
3.
Apartment 3?
Yes, like he has like blood coming out of his mouth, and I don't know if like he had like an aneurysm or like what happened.
Right, okay, all right, okay. Listen, we're getting help out there too. All right, okay. Okay,
Now?
okay, 40, yeah, man, listen, we're on our way out there. You're at 407-716-8684. Okay, is he hanging from somewhere or what, ma'am?
No, I pulled him out of the suitcase. I tried giving him CPR.
Okay, so he was in a suitcase?
Yes, and I fell asleep.
Okay, how old is the
42.
boyfriend, ma'am? 42-year-old male.
So I have a question. If you're playing hide and seek, isn't the point of hide and seek that you go hide and the other person has to find you, right? So why would she be zipping him in a suitcase if they're playing hide and seek? Like,
I feel like they were both drinking, kidding around, and he just, I bet I can fit in this. And she's like, oh, I bet you can too. And he gets in it and she zips him up. And then something happens. Like something clicks in her. I mean, he had to put himself in there.
well, I have the video from her phone that pulled up that I'm going to play, and she's taunting him the whole time. It's
But that's
very,
after he's in it.
yes.
But it just, what led up to for him to get in it and lay there for her to zip it up.
Right.
She
Right.
couldn't hold him down. He had
It,
to willingly lay
so
there, right?
for me, it's calling it hide and seek because it's not even close to hide and seek. How about just saying we were just being stupid to see if he'd fit in the suitcase,
Mm-hmm.
and I fell asleep. I mean, that to me probably would have been a little more understandable. It just is weird. It's weird verbiage.
All right. Okay, we're sending help out there. Sheriff's not way out there?
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
sorry.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Listen to me. Okay. I just need to confirm this. All right. I understand. I just need to confirm this. Is he awake at all? Is he conscious at all?
No. He's purple.
Is he breathing?
No.
All right. I need you to get him on the floor, flat on his back for me. Okay.
I did.
Okay. At that point, I think they walk her through CPR. It just she's a Fruit Loop. She is such a Fruit Loop, JoJo. Such a Fruit Loop. Let's see.
The lack of emotion.
Yeah, there's
not even like there's not just not fear. There's just like not even a racing heart. You know what I'm saying? Like there's not even
right.
not excitement as in joy, but just excitement in her voice of this tragic thing that just happened. She's cold.
There's
flat.
no anxiety coming off of her that
Mm-mm.
you would think would be the norm of somebody who just found somebody dead in their house. It just is. Like, it's just so weird.
There's not even self-preservation at this time coming off either. I don't feel that either.
No. Like she's not even trying to come up with a lie at this point to save herself. Here is where body cam from the cops when they get there and how she's talking, you can see even here she's just whatever. It's just there's no anxiety coming off of her, no excitement, nothing.
To make new art kind of there, like having a good time with one another. But we're drinking. We had a bottle of wine last night. Okay. So then it's like we decided to play hide and seek.
Her eyes are not red. Like she hasn't been upset at any moment before this. She doesn't, to me, in my opinion, does not look like she just woke up either. So,
well, I think that come out in court that she waited till she had to call the ex-husband, and the ex-husband had to get over there, and he's the one that walked in, seen it, and turned around, walked back out, and said, "Call 911."
Yeah.
She didn't find him and call 911.
911 call of "get back over here, don't leave."
But what I'm saying is she didn't find him and then called 911.
Right.
She found him, called the ex-husband.
Right.
He come over there and then told her to call 911.
Oh, he gets in the suitcase. Okay. Who is this guy? That's my ex-husband, my former husband. How did he live here with you guys? No, I called him over here. Okay. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. Okay. So then he came over here. Here, let's talk in private, okay? I called you guys. Mm-hmm. I tried giving him CPR. The problem is I fell asleep. When did you do CPR? This morning, when I found it. Before you called? Yes. It's 1 o'clock right now. I tried. I was awake, but I actually got out of the bed at like 12:30ish, whatever. So I came downstairs, and I was like, "Oh, he's in the suitcase still." And that's when I found him, and I took him out, and I tried doing CPR, and then I called him, and then I called you guys.
Did he get here before the fire department got here?
Who?
Your husband? Or
Yes.
your ex-husband?
Yes.
Okay. Where does he live at?
Right down the street.
Okay. So you were playing and who zipped him up?
I did, but then I fell asleep.
Okay. You're okay. I wasn't here. I'm just trying to figure out what
I
happened.
fell asleep, so I don't know if he suffocated or like had an aneurysm or a heart attack or what.
What kind of medical conditions does he have?
None that I know of.
Nothing that you know of.
None
you
that I
didn't take
know
any
of.
medicine?
No.
No.
All we had was a bottle of wine. Literally.
Now, in court, it came out they had more than a bottle of wine. They had quite a few bottles of wine.
Mm-hmm.
Just a bottle of wine.
Okay.
Doing puzzle artwork. Then we decided to play hide and seek.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that happened.
Okay.
So I don't know if he had a heart attack or what in there. Like, I don't know what happened.
So how long were you doing CPR on him prior to you calling 911? You tried that all morning?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I called him while I was doing
What time
CPR.
did you start? Probably, give me a rough ballpark. Here, let me fill this deputy in, okay?
Please, may I have my Dr. Pepper? I am so cotton mouth right now.
Ma'am, and you can't talk to him until we get done with this, okay?
Just don't leave, okay, Brian?
Thank you, ma'am.
Well,
Appreciate it. Thank you.
I'm getting Lucas.
I know.
Do me a favor. Stand over there by that car. Give me 1 second. Just give us a second, okay?
Somebody else on that call operation.
It's on the counter.
I can't move anything from out of the house. Here, I want you to sit down because I don't
She's
want you
got more
passing out.
emotion
This is
about that
probably a
Dr.
lot
Pepper than his death.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
for you to deal
I
with,
need
right?
water.
Sit. I don't.
Just water.
I can get you some water, okay? Just I want you not on your feet because I don't want you passing out on me.
I need water.
Okay, I'll get some for you.
But you know, even during court, what was it? She was throwing a fit, wanting her M&Ms or hide and seek, Ellen Dragon. There was something during court that she was trying to fight with them about making sure she got to take with her. It was like her Skittles or M&Ms or something. I don't know. It was weird.
Yeah.
You're trying to Charlie, but you're on it.
Fast forward this a little bit.
So 49.
Got over here, told her she needed to call 911, get somebody over here, and then basically she said she needed to go outside, have a drink and a cigarette. I walked back out the house because I didn't really want to.
Who called? Did you call or did she call?
Well, I called. She called me back when I was on my way to make sure I was coming over. But I called her.
Give me 1 second, okay?
But I called her initially.
Do you have water in your car by any chance?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think I stepped past
You
that
okay.
tile area.
Okay. So
I touched doorknob. I don't think I touched anything in the kitchen. I don't know if that really matters.
Yeah. Okay, so that's pretty much the gist of what you have. Well, sit tight for us. We're gonna make a few phone calls and then we'll go from there.
AORGE.
I don't know that we need the rest of that. You still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm trying to get her settled.
She get worked up.
Yeah, she just can't get comfortable. Damn, baby.
So in all of this and in her interrogation, she willingly this day gives them her phone. And on this phone is a treasure trove.
I believe she was drunk enough. She didn't know that she did those videos.
Oh, possible. Most definitely possible. Let's see. I had those up. There they are. So let's do this one. This here is what?
I say she can't get comfortable, and then she flips over with all 4 feet up in the air. She's stretching out.
So I'm going to do a disclaimer. This might be triggering. This is the video that she took of George in the suitcase. Now, let me give it a little bit of backstory. I should have done that already because that's only fair to the victim. Because, you know, in these cases, the victims always are forgotten, and it's just sad that we do that. He was 42 years old. This was in February of 2020. Now, he was a very small dude. He was 5'2", 103 pounds. So he was a really little bitty guy. Now, he did have arrest for several instances of domestic violence. And she was actually arrested once for battery by strangulation against him. So she tried to strangle him once before. So it seems that there is a lot back and forth battery between the two.
See, I have a hard time calling that domestic violence. I believe it takes 1 to be domestic violence and 2 to fight.
Right.
I mean, I guess you could put under domestic violence, but it just sounds like 2 people that equally, even in weight and size, just going at each other.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that.
I don't
I can.
believe one's no more a victim than the other one is.
I think
Eh,
they were just a very toxic couple. The alcohol, add the alcohol in, and it's even more so.
That's what I said, is that with the alcohol and the poverty and the personality disorders, and just, it just was gasoline,
Right. Oh,
you know.
absolutely. But but we don't, again, he's no longer here to defend himself on the fact of whether or not he actually ever hit her. Now she does have a scar on her leg and pictures of him where she was stabbed. There is evidence to prove it, but he's not here to defend himself. So
Mm-hmm.
I hate the accusation part of that because he is a victim here.
Yeah, because she's the type that would do it to herself and say he did.
I agree with that.
I believe she's that type. I mean, we don't know.
So here is this
For
video.
everything you've done to me.
You can hear her slurring, guys. Good Lord. Can y'all hear that?
Mm-hmm.
For everything you've done to me. You.
His voice just breaks my heart.
It does. And so trigger warning again, guys. If you need to step away, this is just a couple minutes long. I don't want anybody triggered. So please protect yourself.
Sarah. Stupid. Sarah. That's my name. Don't wear it out. I can't breathe.
Now, isn't that upside down now? Or is that right side? Okay, no, the zipper's up here. I see it. Okay.
Yeah, that's when you do when you choke me. Sarah.
Can you imagine the detectives when they found this on her phone?
Oh, could you imagine?
That's on you. It's on you. Sarah. Real ransom. Might want to give it for it extra.
Like, none of that makes sense.
Because I got this. Sarah. Real ransom. I can't breathe, babe. Oh. That's what I felt like when he chewed on me. Sarah. Sarah.
He can't breathe, and that's what she feels like when he cheats on her. Is that what she said?
Mm-hmm.
Good Lord.
And when they played this in court, she was just, again, cold.
God bless.
Emotionless.
You should probably shut up. Sarah.
So, and that's where that one ended. Hi, Rebrand. We have not seen you in ages. We've missed you. And it's just it's a very heartbreaking video. It just is.
Put yourself in his mother's place.
I'm having to watch this.
Having to watch that, and our baby boys in that suitcase, because it doesn't matter how old they get, they're still our babies. I can't imagine hearing that in a courtroom and hearing my son's last words, and for that mother to get up there and say, "I forgive her." Ugh.
See, and I don't know. I mean, it's been 4 years, so maybe they've had time to forgive, but I don't know if I would have, with the way she acted through trial, I don't know that I would be at that place yet. I
And I
know,
say forgiveness is for yourself, not
it
really the
is.
other person,
It
but
is. And we do heal better when we finally let that go and forgive. But I just
the
don't.
mom spoke first. And I just wonder if Sarah would have went first and said what she said on that stand.
If the mother would have had.
If the mom would have said the same thing, because Sarah blamed the mom, the family, social media, everybody.
Yeah.
Blamed him.
So
She's
now
the only one that was innocent.
the one thing that I guess because I just maybe this is I don't know. She only had a 6-member jury. I found that to be a small jury because I thought because they had 6 jurors and 8 alternates.
Yeah. I think every state's different.
Now she went through a lot of attorneys.
8 or 9.
Let's see. It says here 8 different attorneys who represented her withdrew. She had 8 that withdrew. 7 of them being court appointed, and then Judge Cranick finally ruled that she had forfeited her right to court appointed counsel. She was that difficult. She must have been worse than Letitia Stout.
And then she put out some kind of, I don't know where she put it out, but asking if any attorney wanted to take this case on.
Yeah, the hand drawn advertisement for a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she's something. They're going to study her letters in psych schools for eternity.
I'm telling you, she is going to be a whole case study. The lawyer that I don't know if you watch, The Lawyer You Know is the name of his channel.
Yeah, I
on
have
YouTube.
that one.
I love him. He actually went to the sentencing, and he's read all of her letters that she's written to the judges.
I haven't got to finish watching his stuff on her. I watch a lot of his stuff.
I love his stuff. I love when his dad comes on there.
I like it because he looks at it factually. He doesn't do.
He's like Emily. He don't take sides.
Right. He's not taking sides.
Facts.
He's looking at what he's presented with and going off of that. And that I like.
Like Emily, when she covers a trial, she won't watch media leading up to it. Only what she sees in the trial.
Yes.
Now, afterwards, she'll break it down. Or during it, like during the statements and stuff, if people's got questions. But she tries to avoid outside opinions.
So let's listen to her. I don't. What do we even call this? What did she do? What is it called?
Her statement.
Her sentencing.
Her impact statement or her
impact statement. There we go. What is it called again? Total brain fart. She's just something, guys. We're gonna play this, and again, to the victims, if they happened upon this video, I apologize for everything you've had to go through. And any other victims out there that this might be triggering to. But it's important to listen to her.
She had 32 pages, and the judge said no.
Right.
Yeah, it started off with 32 pages, and the judge said no, and she got it down to 9.
She just, I can't.
I've had a lot of time to think about things, and I didn't really know how to put it on paper. And I didn't know how much I could say or how.
How did she not know how to put it on paper? This bitch has written 9 million letters that are 500 fucking pages long. Just come on.
Directly to the judge, which is you don't write the judge in your case.
I can't. Well, Letitia did. Letitia Stout did. So it's in that personality disorder.
You don't do that.
title I should say. So what I have here is, like I said, an edited version.
The edited version.
But I would like to read the more important parts that I feel that everyone should know that wasn't said.
I'm just gonna say, this is the most important part of the letter. As much dribble as she's fixing to spew, I can't imagine what else was in this letter.
My actual trial. And on top of what I have on paper, this is just the tip of the tip of the tip of the iceberg.
The tip of the tip of the tip, the tip, the tip.
So I wanted to read this, and then if I may, I would like to address everyone in my apology on top of my statement.
You may proceed, ma'am.
Kintu Sukuroi is a kind of Japanese ceramic style which means to repair with gold. In this tradition, when a ceramic piece breaks, an artisan will fuse the pieces back together again using liquid gold or gold dust lacquer. So rather than being covered up, the breaks become more obvious and a brilliant new piece of art emerges from the brokenness. It embraces flaws, weakness, and imperfections, and also teaches the essence of resilience. Every crack in a ceramic piece is a part of its history, and each piece becomes more beautiful because it has been broken. This is the wisdom of Kintu Sukuroi. In my wisdom,
what was the importance of that?
She thinks she's so smart.
Because I have literally listened to this, I can't even count how many times, trying to understand what she is trying.
I mean, the symbolism is beautiful, but your sentencing statement is not a place for it.
I guess that's where I'm stuck, of not understanding the
symbolism of what she just said. To me is gorgeous, but you're sitting on the stand in front of the judge that has the control over your life. It's not the time or the place.
Right.
She's not a piece of art.
And with all of my repairs, then, now, and ongoing, God has been, and will always be my artisan. All of my gold is forgiveness. This has held me together, made me shine brighter, and overcome the damage caused by Jorge Torres, the Torres family, the justice system, Orange County Corrections Department, social media, scoundrel detectives, infamy, defamation, ongoing constitutional rights violations, second-degree murder, forced into being pro se. Just as gold is very precious, forgiveness is invaluable.
She was forced to be pro se. Seriously?
If she would have got Stephanie Boyd, who is a judge out of Texas, when her client or when the bad guys come in front of her and they don't like their court-appointed attorney, she'll say, okay, I'll take him off your case. Your only choice then is go hire your own. There wouldn't have been no 8 attorneys assigned.
Right. That's a ridiculous number. I can understand going through maybe 2, but come on.
Not at taxpayers' money.
Huh?
Not at taxpayers' money.
Right. Well, I mean, here's the thing. The only thing about refusing them quickly on getting another one, if their one's not working, is that it gives them an opportunity for appeal. So I understand to a degree of giving them so many chances to get an attorney that they can work with to help not have any appeal issues, because they don't want to see her back in court. Good God, let's not have this woman back in court.
To forget who, what, or how you've lived through to be so gold, but an act of grace, humility, and considerable self-compassion to be set free from sorrow. Withholding forgiveness denies your brilliance and adds even greater grief and deeper heartache, irreparable cracks on top of the already that no one deserves, no matter the pain or disappointment, untruths or injustice. It doesn't matter. As the more broken you are, even though now different than before, you've become more outstanding and more extraordinary. Above all, when you let go of blame, misunderstandings, excuses, give up your anger and cease from resentment, this is forgiven. And when you forgive, you heal. And when you heal, you move forward. My goal begins with Jorge Torres, and every time he slapped me, kicked, punched, spit on, raped, stabbed, choked, laughed at, pushed, pulled, dragged, whipped, tripped, stole from, lied, terrorized, threatened, humiliated, forced, degraded, made me cry. Every time he tried to end me, defeat, or destroy. I forgive George for beating me senseless, for trying to sleep because I had to go to work or my son's field trip the next day, for ruining my deceased family's heirlooms, traditions, and keepsakes, my son's furniture, destroying the television we watched together.
That television has been a big thing at this trial.
Mm-hmm.
They talked about that television so much. Ridiculous.
Our townhome by breaking windows, punching holes in the walls and doors, ramming his entire body into glass doors, kicking in my front and back door over and over and over. For breaking or removing the locks from all of the doors and sometimes the knobs altogether, so I had nowhere to feel safe, including the sacred space of my...
She made a complete inventory of every incident within their relationship.
Yep.
Like, Jesus Christ.
Son's room where he beat me bloody on his bed. For terrorizing and threatening my blind and deaf dogs by leaving the gate open I built to keep them safe, telling me he hoped I'd find their bloated dead body in the pond or scrape their remains off of the pavement, for kicking them off of the bed and throwing across the room because they were trying to protect me. For threatening to make me unrecognizable to my son by breaking all of the bones in my face, like his brother Moses did to him after he kept seeing all of the bruises from George beating me, like all of the times their father beat their mother. For all of the drunken rages and fist fights with so many neighbors.
Now that mother is sitting in that audience right now listening to this.
I know.
God
help her.
Wandering into their apartments during hunting expeditions after I had escaped. For drowning me in liquor and wine because I didn't want to drink, causing me to urinate on myself, then butting the end of the bottle in my face, giving me 2 black eyes and a bloody nose. For making me experience what it is to be sodomized. Threatening to kill my friends and the neighbors when they checked on me to make sure I was alive and in one piece. For threatening to burn down our townhome and set my car on fire because I got a job.
She talks about the friends and neighbors, but there was none of the neighbors that testified to that.
That's what I was going to say. None of them testified to any of that.
They testified that they were seen as drunks of the area and didn't want nothing to do with them.
Well, and nobody, the only people she had speak for her in victim impact statements were inmates. Mm-hmm. Nobody in her outside life spoke for her. That's telling. Her son didn't come speak for her. The ex-husband didn't come speak. Nobody came to speak for her.
That tells a lot.
It does.
For holding me hostage on weekends, my son was supposed to come over by keeping my keys around his neck, my phone in his crotch, and a butcher knife stuck in the middle of the table as a warning not to ask anything or try to leave. For stabbing me in the leg and not letting me call 911 for an ambulance or seek help, where I nearly bled to death until I concocted a lie to save him from being arrested. For destroying my phone with a hammer because my son called.
For one, there is no evidence that she nearly bled to death. That is a huge over-exaggeration of that wound.
Mm-hmm.
Experiencing ever being arrested and after today, prison. For beating me almost blind, crushing my occipital lobe. For having me experience what it means to see stars, like in the cartoons, where a character has a tall lump on their head. I had that too, and many times. For dragging me downstairs by my hair in the middle of the night just to sit next to him. For taking my car, driving drunk with my debit card to buy more alcohol while I slept, even after I kindly explained the importance of my car to take my son to school foremost, me to work, and he to his batterers, intervention classes, and probation officer meetings, where I would be forced to sit for hours in the parking lot waiting for him. For causing me so much trauma and pain, mentally, physically, emotionally, I had to be hospitalized more than once. For destroying my reputation and integrity.
Now, I don't remember, but I may have missed it. Did they ever bring as evidence how many times she had to stay in the hospital?
I didn't see all of it either. I don't remember. I know I didn't see any of that proof. I do know that there was proof that she went to the emergency room with her leg. But I don't. There was parts that I missed too. Excuse me.
Rebrand says she is talking. She is talking just to talk because no one else would say these during the hearing. She was hell bent on getting these words into the court transcripts and into the public perception. What it did. Wait for part 2. Unbeknownst to her, her diatribe is what got her the life sentence. I agree.
That's what I said. I don't think the life sentence was based on her crime. It was bad.
For murderer Scarlet Letter, not letting me.
What it did was show the judge that she is not remorseful for what she did.
She showed no remorse.
None.
She has showed no remorse this whole time.
I mean, had she had any kind of remorse, her sentence may have been less.
Mm-hmm.
Safe to live, talk to other people, spend time with my son, have a job, friendships, simply go to the bathroom with the door closed, or go to sleep soundly or comfortably. I forgive George for lying, for him trying in so many ways, so many times, to end me with his terrifying love. I also forgive the Torres family, his mother and father foremost, also his 2 ex-wives and daughters, all for knowing who George was capable of and has done in the past, his history of violence and where he learned it, then to keep turning a blind eye when I would ask for help. All of his siblings, including Farrell Torres, who is now on his way to prison for stabbing the mother of their baby in the side of her head. For everyone who knew
What does that have to? That had no purpose in this court.
None at all.
On when, but allowed and enabled. I forgive them for caring too late. I hope they all ask themselves.
So she forgives them. She forgives them.
Because she's the victim.
Quiet and comfortable in bed at night, the uneasy question. What could I have done to stop this from happening to both of them? And after all the time Sarah tried to, by asking for help from all of us and so many times.
Did she just talk about herself in third person?
If she did, I missed it.
Let's see.
The uneasy question. What could I have done to stop this from happening to both of them? And after all the time Sarah tried to, by asking for help from all of us and so many times. Another great contributor of my gold is social media, with its greed, insensitivity, deception, obvious exploitation, and advantageous gain from my criminal case as a whole, and for sentencing me by anticipation as a result of ignorance and hate.
It's our fault, guys. It's social media's fault that she is a narcissistic bitch.
Remember, I was texting you during this live.
You did. You were like, oh God, it's our fault.
It's our fault now.
Conjured and fabricated by the organized crime that is social media, which condemned me.
And we're part of organized crime. Cool.
In the court of global public opinion since the beginning. My family law case is the new prey waiting to be picked apart and pillaged from me being made infamous by social media in my criminal case. It simply seems I cannot forgive and be forgiven and move forward. Social media has made me a pariah. It has caused great oppression and undeniable disadvantages, especially by broadcasting and manipulating my cases online. In my criminal case, as a result, my opportunities to be given a fair, proper, and uninfluenced, successful conclusion was heavily depleted and poisoned. I forgive them. Also, all of the media tycoons for not having a life of their own.
Thank you, Sarah Boone, so much for your forgiveness.
I could sleep so much better tonight.
Right. We couldn't have made it through Christmas without that forgiveness.
So desperately to make themselves seem so right by making me appear so wrong. Forgiveness for prejudgment, ridiculous theatrics, lies, making, and
we had ridiculous theatrics.
Making blood money from my and others' misfortunes, accidents, and catastrophes. It's all over their hands and their keyboards. And even after all that's been said and done, theorized, hypothesized, scrutinized, and blasphemed in my case, still no one knows me.
That's the problem.
In the end, I forgive myself for not choosing my life sooner, for not being more brave, vigilant, bolder, and outspoken, stronger, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, for being hopeless, desperate, simple-minded, weak, and inexperienced. I forgive myself for not realizing I was enduring a life of domestic violence and that the vicious cycle of never ends. I had nothing to compare to. I've never been hit by a man ever before in my life. I was raised hitting a woman was wrong and should never happen. No excuse. I forgive myself for not escaping permanently, for not fighting back sooner to save myself, my son, my dogs, home, and car. Having 20/20 hindsight, thinking of everything I could have done differently or better to avoid the outcome. I think about this every day since. Also, of all the good days we had together, for him at least, while I was constantly in hyperdrive, high alert, and paranoid, making sure I did everything right all the time. If not, the great possibility I would be ended as George threatened me with so many times before. I forgive myself for falling in love with a monster, and no matter how grotesque he may become, I still loved him, hoped, and forgave. I tried breaking the spell so he wouldn't be a monster anymore. I saw who he was inside. George made me then, now, and always love him for all of his cracks also. We made each other our own brilliant pieces of art from the cracks and repairs.
Wow.
Unfortunately, not all cracks can be. In all of my forgiveness, George is my greatest lesson and will forever be a part of me. I think of him every day and still speak to him when alone on the rec yard. I ask his forgiveness and that he looks for me at the gates of heaven so I can tell him how sorry I am, endlessly, and that I never stopped loving him. In all of it and still. When I first came to jail, I put my mat under my bed and cried all day and all night for months, only falling asleep from being so exhausted with grief. I wrote him letters. I wrote his family and his daughters, apologizing for asking for their forgiveness. But due to fear that my life or sons would be jeopardized, I did not send. I am sorry. I cannot begin to fathom any of their grief and sadness. Please forgive me. Almost everything reminds me of him, seeing my stab wound it's every day especially. It truly reminds me that all I really did live through. George haunts me. He is everywhere. I believe because I do still love him, think of him, and miss his laugh the most. In my heart, I know he is with me and understands that this tragedy is not intentional. I hope everyone can, his family foremost. I didn't mean for this to happen. Please wholeheartedly know that, and always, I would never. Forgive me, George. Forgive me, Torres family. Forgive me, Judge Cranick. To the entire planet, please forgive me. I graciously and humbly ask for consideration, for forgiveness to be extended instead of judgment, for reconciliation and restoration for all of us to move forward. My apology is profuse and ceaseless. Allow me please to brush off the muck, wipe the blood off of my face, and fix the cuts in my skin. I ask for understanding in what really happened and for how long, for second chances, repentance, and redemption, to advocate for all domestic violence survivors, to help them overcome, heal, and still hope, always, to make their voices heard, to confidently walk with all of their scars on the outside and the inside, to help them not ever become a casualty of domestic violence as so many others, to stop the abuse and maltreatment before it's too late. There is always hope, and you can survive. In my soft-spoken, I ask this. Would I be the darling mother, celebrated woman of the year, if it were I who died? How many daughters, mothers, sisters, aunts, grandmothers,
Gaslighting bitch. Ugh.
nieces, and friends have been because they did? I am a survivor. Learn to do good, seek justice, rebuke oppressors, defend the fatherless, plead for the widow. Isaiah 1:17, all-encompassing, protect the abused.
Ms. Boone, is that the end of your written statement?
I'm over that. I'm over that. Oh, So there was one thing in that I can agree with her on, and that is about other domestic abuse victims. So many times abuse victims get in these relationships and they don't know how to get out. And that is something that we need to try to help with, be vigilant about.
She would get away from him though, and then
go back,
drive him crazy to come back.
Right. She would run him off and then drive him crazy to come back, and he'd come back and then start all over again. And he'd go. It just was back and forth. It was a very, very dangerous, volatile relationship.
There was one point in time she held his birth certificate hostage and told him that it was hers, and then she tore it up, took pictures of it, and sent him the pictures of his birth certificate torn off.
Yeah, I can't with. I just. In all of these cases, they deserve a defense, right? And I don't fault them for trying to do the battered spouse as a defense. I don't fault them for that. However,
I think that was her idea.
I think that in the way that he died, in a suitcase with you taunting him for, God, what was it, like 20 or 30 minutes that she sat and taunted him? I'm trying to remember, because there were other clips.
Like 22 minutes.
Yeah, there were other clips of the video in court, and that's not a situation where he's been hitting on you that night and you've had enough and you've taken his life. That I would have gotten behind and said she was absolutely done and fed up and with him hitting her and defended herself and took his life. I could have gotten behind that. But because of that video, that is not what that was. That was being drunk and being mean in that moment and trying to get one up on him.
But you can tell the type of personality that she has. I don't believe, with what we know of her, that he had a chance when it come to ever doing anything right to please her.
Right.
I think she had been very critical of everything he did. Not saying he didn't have his moments. I mean, a drunk's always miserable to be around, right? I can't stand a drunk. So, I don't even like to talk to people when they're drinking. I can't stand it. So I'm sure he had his miserable moments, but I don't believe he would have been able to do anything that would have made her happy anyway. She's just very critical.
I think she is just a miserable type of person in general.
Can you imagine what her son goes through or went through?
Well, why is that not? Stupid thing. That letter that I'm gonna play here in a minute. Her son breaks my heart. It absolutely breaks my heart for that son. And y'all make sure to hop over and give me a thumbs up, if you will, please, because that's a free way to support the channel. Let's see. What was I going for? Oh yeah. Let me go find this. Because I have this saved. I'm trying to think of which one I want to do, because I'm going to do the one that Boston sent me. I don't know that Boston's still here. She's been quiet. Oh, that is not what I wanted it to do. I hit the wrong thing. Stop it. Okay. Let's go to the spot. It's like right about here. Maybe not. Why is it buffering? I don't know why it's buffering. Hopefully it'll pull up when I go to. I want to say he is 9 or 11. It might say it in the letter. And I like this guy because he says he refuses to give her the respect in calling her Boone. He calls her Sarah Paulson because that is her, I guess, her maiden name. And what's funny, it's Sarah Catherine Paulson, and Katie Joy is Katie Paulson.
Get into it. 10/16/22. Honorable.
So he reads the letter, and it's going to be up here, and so I'm just going to let that play. When he goes to do his commentary on it, I will. Let's put this back up here because
Joni.
Why did I just totally? What did I do? I do not know. There we are.
Scoot over. Fat dog.
I'll have to look her up, rebrand. This guy here does pretty good with it. And then I found another one earlier that I thought I didn't pay attention if it was the same letter though. Okay.
Judge Michael Dean. We don't owe you anything and are waiting for you to be guilty so we can get out of here and away from you. I don't want to deal with you anymore. I'm going now. Click. Yelling at me so loud, the phone is distorting. So loud, former husband, his father, came in and told him to stop being mean to me before hanging up. Honorable Dean, this is what was told to me by my 11-year-old son when I asked about his best friend and how she was doing since I hadn't mentioned her in a while. He told me she started acting strange after he told her he was moving and wouldn't see her anymore. She's upset with him. The conversation continued with me asking why he's telling his friend this, as nothing is set in stone and will be discussed when the time comes. Oh, we're leaving, and it doesn't matter what you say. We have an attorney. Eventually, it turned into the aforementioned statement, and I was laughed at, disrespected, shut down, and hung up on by my son over asking about his friend. You see, this is where I turn and ask, how is this okay, Your Honor? This is exactly how former husband treats me and has unfortunately successfully passed this disgusting trait to our son. Nonetheless, how dare both of them disregard me the way they are making me feel like I am nothing, no one, worthless, and a joke. I am sick of being laughed at.
I love his commentary that he's putting the emotion in it.
Day to talk about with former husband calmly and rationally. I asked him why our son spoke to me the way he did and where he is getting the idea that you all are definitely leaving, moving. He's losing good friends over it. Well, that's the plan, and I figured you should start getting used to it. 50 miles can be overruled. It means nothing. Laughing. That's why I have an attorney. You don't. We're just waiting for you to be sentenced. The judge knows everything, and there's not much you can do or say about any of it. You'll see. We're leaving no matter what, regardless of the outcome. What's the point of me fighting for my life with my son when I'm treated the way I am by both of them? This is a form of mental and emotional abuse. Former husband encourages and enables it. I'm yelled at.
Why in the world does she put husband in parentheses every time?
For everything. I'm afraid to call for fear I will be obliterated and brought to a new level of low, or try to see how hard I can be made to cry, then laughed at. I'm damned if I do and damned if I don't. If I do continue in my fight, which I will and am, I'm disrespected and almost destroyed. If I don't, then I look like the uncaring, heartless, incompetent mother person former husband is hell-bent on making me out to be. I just started speaking to my son from being screamed at with cruel lies and horrible, mean things that I will not repeat over nothing. I didn't call for 3 weeks because of the shock and pure hurt I am still in for what was said. I am made to feel like a chore, burden, and pest.
Well,
I am not welcomed, like life is better without me. Everything is one-sided. My son never met my parents, grandparents, aunt or uncles, deceased, never knew my family. He only knows the Boones who viciously slander me, his mother, behind my back, have perpetually made me the dumb black sheep and continuously plot my demise together. They've poisoned my son and pitted him against me since day one, when I was just 9 days into my incarceration. Former husband took it upon himself to make the egregious decision to tell him I would be gone and he wouldn't see me for 25 years or longer of his little life. My son cannot be my son and is tortured by the confusion in whether he can be close to me, like we've always been, or even be nice to me. I feel to be alone. I don't know. Our son is just an innocent pawn in former husband's scheme to seek his sad, bitter, unrelenting revenge against me. His house is broken plastic and covered in fool's gold. He is not the angel he appears to be. He is an insensitive, callous tyrant and fully endorsed by his family. No one listens to me. I have made the active decision to not call for an undetermined length of time so I can take a break from the beratement. I can
didn't she just say she hadn't talked to them for 3 weeks?
only take the terrors inflicted by former husband in doses. Right now, I've gotten my fill from both of them.
But the
If my
former
son
husband's
wants
who she called to rescue her when she found
Right,
him in the suitcase.
right.
to speak to me, he can write or schedule a visit, which I doubt will happen from the lack of encouragement and inclusion of me to have a relationship with our son by former husband. Please understand, I can only take so much on top of everything else. I love my son. I need my son, just not this version, not right now.
As a mother, it is your job to have your child however they are. And look what you've put your child through because of your actions. Fucking
She's just the
accountability.
perpetual victim.
Yeah.
What can I do? What can you do, please? This is not right. Every time I try to speak,
And I mean, this is the first letter that I've watched or listened to and read, whatever. Are all of her letters like this?
Yeah.
Jesus.
to former husband about anything ends up ugly and unsuccessful. He has taken it upon himself to self-diagnose my case from watching YouTube, his reliable source, and of course, Court TV, telling me my trial is less than 3 weeks away, assumes I fire all of my attorneys. Remember, I am on number 6, but not by choice, and constantly tells me how wrong I am doing everything. He keeps asking me why I keep delaying everything. He gives assumed case details about witnesses, occurrences, etc. over the phone, telling me about my case. He is assuming everything. He thinks he knows everything about my case. This is wrong. I'm being penalized even more for wrong, empty accusations and information. This only multiplies his anger and spitefulness.
Cuts off so he can't finish.
Is to do everything I can to keep him here. Ludicrous. This is why I felt the need, Judge Dean, to hesitantly include you in the ongoing struggles I'm having with former husband and his incompetence regarding my life and case. It's never ending and only gets worse. I would also like it to be known I have not gotten any of my orders for a hygiene kit. deodorant that works, toothpaste, and a washcloth, or for a measly coffee package that I began asking for in July and after you approved on September 13th during our meeting. My ability to start receiving alimony again after former husband immensely diminished and tried to stop. It's the middle of October. There's always an excuse. The most recent, and for the last 3 months, is that his debit credit card won't work because it's a jail and people steal. He's had to use our son's allowance card just to finally get me a hot meal I mentioned to you, which ended up coming on my birthday, 10/10, in case you forgot. The million times I fucking said it, only because I told him about this letter I'm writing. I'm still waiting on the other orders so I can be alert and presentable when my attorney does finally show up, who still has not since the last time I spoke to you. Please know also, my bank account, which I've had for 30 years, has closed due to former husband's failure to pay alimony as instructed by our dissolution of marriage agreement, then also by you. I cannot deposit any checks. One I have been waiting on for him to mail me since February and could use towards commissary when he wasn't giving anything. All of my subscriptions are not being renewed. Anything with autopay cannot be approved. I can't even deposit the alimony former husband is supposed to be paying. I've had this.
I'm sorry. If I was in jail facing a trial for murder, I don't know that I would be worried about my subscriptions. Kind of think that'd be the last thing on my mind.
Account for 30 years. He assumed his plan would work in not having to pay, so he withheld, causing this to happen. I have no bank account, Your Honor, and for all the difficulties supposedly encountering with his debit credit card could have been avoided would he have been paying and abiding by the rules. My bank account would be open still. He could have used my debit credit card and I would already have the necessities I'm needing. Former husband is his own troublemaker. He makes his life more difficult from all of his assumptions and defiant attitude. Even if I wasn't incarcerated, I'd be getting the same problems from him. He keeps tripping over his power trips and taking out on me. Where are my orders? How can I get my bank account reopened? He gets no relief from his own doing. Everything was okay before he tried implementing all his agreements and started a second job soothsaying. The constant assaultive, degrading remarks, fear, infliction, and terrorizing threats must stop. It makes no difference how soft my approach is in trying to explain to former husband how unnecessary and harmful his actions and comments are, and being the example he is to our son, giving permission he can do the same, especially to me, his mother, and also to other women futuristically. Just stop, please. Former husband tries to taunt me every opportunity he can to get a reaction from me, knowing he's got the upper hand in almost everything and can either laugh at me or hang up, or both. As said before, I am not helpless. I have God and your awareness of my situations, Judge Dean, to hopefully impose your authority in all manner available to provide any permissible relief for everyone. Something needs to be done sooner than later, considering my trial has an unknown date. I refuse to continue cooperating with former husband and any of his terms and the way they are being handled. Look at the bigger picture. In conclusion, the most painful, horrific remark made to me by former husband so far during my attempted call to talk about our son's upcoming birthday, 10/28, with the conversation always turning into the told me, when you're finally put away, this move will be the best thing to happen to us. Him, son, we can't wait to get out of Orlando and away from you. laughing. Also, where we're moving is very close to the prison. It's going to be very easy and convenient for us. Thank you for your time and assistance. Most of all, your understanding. I waited as long as I could in everything to involve you, but I don't know what to do or how much more abuse I could endure. I felt you should be included on what's happening behind the scenes when former husband and his attorney aren't sitting in front of you in the courtroom or you're reading one of their many scheming documents, plotting what he can do to me next. You and God. Thank you either way and always. Sincerely, Sarah Boone, Sarah Boone.
Y'all,
Oh, like she needs some self-awareness. Like, can we buy her that for Christmas?
I'm telling you, it's that personality disorder. She can't help herself.
Thank you, Rebrand. Oh, I this woman, like this judge needed that letter about this conversation with her son and husband. Now, granted, in divorce cases, you always have this back and forth. And I do not agree that an 11-year-old should know the ins and outs of things on this. I think there is a very fine line of what he should know about his mother's case because I still think he's too young.
He's 11. I'm sure he's on social media just like all of our other kids are.
Right. I understand that, but I think that as a parent, we have to protect them a little bit more, and there just is some things he shouldn't know. However,
He goes to school.
getting away from her, I think, is important because it is also that dad's job to protect him from her and the abuse that she is doing because her attitude and behavior towards him is abusive.
Mm-hmm.
And
So, like, come up
so
in the court that she would leave, under the umbrella of abuse and go to the ex-husband's house. That come up in court several times.
mm. Mm. I just she just makes me go, huh? Look, I think that's why I struggled with this case after the first little bit because it was just kind of like I can't with her. Letitia Stout was bad enough, and this one is just, like, can we put her and Letitia Stout in the same prison and 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 watch it from afar? Like that could be entertaining. I don't know. Letitia Stout would probably beat the crap out of her because that woman's kind of cray cray. I mean, she attacked a cop when they were bringing her back from Florida. So, let's see. Is the other letter that I had? Stop it! Stop it! That is not what I wanted it to do. Why did it do that? I don't want that playing. Why is that playing? Stop it! Let's see, because I had another letter saved. And of course, maybe I didn't. I like the Dr. G. Do you watch him at all? Dr. G explain. It's Dr. G explains is his channel. He did a body cam footage, behavior, and body language on Sarah Boone.
I wonder if the behavioral panel has done her.
I don't know. Let's look.
They'd have a kick with her.
Oh, they would be hilarious. Let's see if they have anything. Of course, they've done some on the Ramses.
What is it?
Do you have anything on Sarah Boone? I don't guess they have because I don't see anything.
It might be too crazy for them.
They have and some other ones. Oops, that ain't what I wanted.
What time is it?
I don't know. Let's see, what time is it? I can't see my clock. No, they don't have anything on her.
It really surprises me they didn't do it.
That I'm seeing. I may pull it up on my phone and find it. I'm guessing I didn't save that other letter. Which one is it? Rebrand said to go look. Talking with Tanika. Let's see. Talking with Tanika. Is it simply Tanika? Maybe? Oh, here we go. Yep. Let's see. Let's get to some of hers because that might be fun to listen to. It's 7:30 here, so 8:30 your time. We won't stay on much longer. I know you need to get sleep for tomorrow.
I gotta get up at 3:30.
Who's staying with Emma tomorrow?
Amber's taking off.
Oh, okay. All right, so let's check. I'm going to subscribe to her channel. Let's check her out. Let's see.
Please, how are title? So that's why there's a.
I'm going to fast forward to some of this because.
Now I should.
Okay.
I'll leave here at 3:30. I should be home by 2:30.
Okay. Oh, that's a long day.
On the 8th of April, 11:53 a.m. on 4:02 April 2nd of 2020, inmate Boone was issued a property bag and was informed that all her property was to be stored in that bag when not. So maybe that.
Let's see.
I'm only saying that based on a chat that I was in yesterday where somebody was
jail antics that she's reading. Let's see. What else she got? She has Sarah Boone. Let's see. Well, does she have a playlist? Does she have a Sarah Boone playlist? Yep.
hello, my true crime lovelies.
Let's see. That all that's on her Sarah Boone playlist? Like a loon, her sentencing, family court. Explains to family court. Boone versus Boone.
The coyotes are out tonight. I hear them screaming.
Uh-oh. Okay, I'm not finding what I'm looking for, and I don't want to keep us through that. But yeah, so we had a serious rainstorm come through yesterday, and you know it holds water all over the place. Well, across our little street, properly across from us, holds a lot of water. And look up today, the ducks are over there having a field day, and so is Sam and Dean. They're there at the time. I'm like, look, you can't go after the neighbors when they're on their own property because the people behind that just bought that. And they kind of laughed about us having attacked geese. And so here they are.
Yes, Sam and Dean needs their own channel.
They knew me. So I told Dave today because he said he had gone over there and he'd run them back. And Sam was busy watching him, or he was moving his truck in the driveway. And he was busy watching him and wasn't paying attention. And he missed the edge of the driveway and fell into the ditch. And he was funny as hell. I said, that's why we need GoPros, because that kind of shit is funny. just like they're the nest of eggs that Dean has taken and now covered up with leaves. And Molly, get over here on your blankets. You don't need in our laps. You've got 502 million blankets down there in a bed. Don't bark at me, Miss Special. And I come in with the shavings because it's going to get to freezing for us tonight, which that'll only last a day. We'll be back to 70s in a few days, but yes, Florida. She's in Florida, JoJo. They do have the death penalty, but with second degree, they went. It wasn't going to be. I don't think it was on the table for her. But I come in the backyard with those shavings, and Dean come a running, or Sam did come a running to attack me because he doesn't like anything in your hands. He gets all worked up. Dave had the flashlight on his head the other night, and he was all worked up. But yeah, they are. They are in rare form today because of all the rain, like little jerks. And then I've got 2 silkies laying on eggs. And then I thought all the other eggs were pretty much done, and I had kind of gotten rid of eggs, and I had candled eggs the other day, and I'm like, okay, everybody, we've got another couple weeks, and had one hatch last night. One of my silkies hatched last night, and it is the cutest. It's gray and white. It is the cutest thing.
Aww.
Oh my goodness, it's cute.
A silky that's hatched, that's gray and white?
Yeah, because the mama is, my female silky is white, and I had the dad, one of the boys, and he's one of the that somebody got was black. And then
but it's already showing that it's gray and
well,
white.
the fuzz is gray and white. The little, because it's furry. And it's got gray and white splatches. I meant to take a picture and send it to you. It is the cutest baby. Oh my Lord, is it cute. And it's in with the others that are in there. 3 of those are big enough I need to go put in the pen outside, but because it's getting cold, I didn't want to do that just yet. I want them to acclimate. But it looks so tiny compared to those guys.
No pick on it.
And then of course I've got, what do I have, 4 or 5 geese eggs in there. So I'm gonna have baby geeses. And I had
oh
8.
Lord, that's all you need is more.
I had 8 ducks hatch, and one of the ladies from the farmer's market bought those. So thank God, because I really look, I love ducks, but ducks are messy, and the thought of having ducks inside the house in the winter was not a fun
Ducks
time.
are
Not
so
fun.
messy.
God, they stink. Ooh, they stink, but they're so fun. They're so fun. I'll do them in the spring when it's warm enough that I can put them outside pretty quickly because they just stink too bad. But I'll keep hatching them because people buy them like crazy. So I'm probably going to just start hatching eggs and
You
selling.
need to get some Australian Seramas.
I do. I need to get some of those. We had the coons, and we did catch that coyote running through the property that took out half my chickens. So I'm down to 10 chickens. Well, 11 if you count Mo, but I don't count Mo. She's on a class of her own. And so we're going to get the pens moved to the other side. We think we got the coons taken care of, and I have let all of the neighbors know if I catch another dog on my property, it will not be making it home. Because I caught 2 dogs in my backyard 2 days ago.
Once they kill a chicken, it's over.
Yeah, and I'm not doing it. I'm over it.
Yeah. Once they kill one, it's over.
And we'd heard something, I guess it was yesterday, and I was ready to let Jovi out. I was going to let Jovi out, and he could tangle with them. Yeah, he ain't playing with his yard. Yeah, he ain't playing in his yard. And equals stiffy tails. They crack me up. Do they have stiffy tails? I'm gonna have to look them up because I know that I know what they are, but it's not coming to my head what they are. But Jovi, he just goes out there and follows around with all of them. He don't even pay them any mind. Now Bodie, he's still puppy like and kind of chases them in a way where he's not trying to hurt them. It's just kind of like, oh, it's something to play with, and he just barrels over the ducks. Like he was running after the ducks and just ran right over them. I'm like, dude, leave them alone.
Yeah, my dogs always got along with them. They never chased or anything. They would try to eat the chicken feed.
Oh, they love the chicken feed.
I've never understood why the dogs like the chicken feed, but they do. They would sit right there with the chickens and eat the chicken feed. Me hollering out on the whole time, like, get out of that. Get out of that.
And they love the eggs.
The
They
chickens
know
would
that
sit
they
right
get
there and
fed.
eat with them, like, not.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So with the
Well,
horses, though, the horses would sit there and eat the chicken feed, and the 900-pound horse sitting there beside a little 2-pound chicken.
well, the my dogs love the eggs, and they know there's eggs out there, so that's what they go looking for. And like at the quail pen, they know I give them quail eggs, so they'll come around and just be waiting for me to toss them quail eggs, and it's like tossing them popcorn.
What are you
Oh,
doing, honey? You
so
getting up?
alrighty, guys. Well, I think we'll call that a night. That's kind of some of the crazy with the Sarah Boone case. She is serving she got a life sentence. Uh, and I've read several things. Some things say life in Florida, life means life, and other things have said that there is a possibility of parole. They did give her credit for time served, so I'm assuming life means a minimum of 25. With her time
And she
served,
could have been out in another 4 years.
yeah, yeah.
She's
So
so sure of herself.
I believe what I was reading that in 22 years she's up for parole. The possibility of parole. I don't see her getting parole. I think it's going to be like Susan Smith, and it would be denied because she's going to take some accountability for that to happen.
Yeah, she ain't gonna change.
And
She
I'm
is
going to
who
tell you
she
what,
is.
I don't know if any of y'all watched. See, Ben and Aaron, that's what I heard too. And then I read somewhere else that it was a minimum of 25 years. So with her case, I'm kind of unclear. I know that when they gave her time served, on that, that's what made me think maybe it is 25 years minimum. But then there are other things that I've read that say life means life. So I don't know. I'm kind of confused on that. And if y'all didn't watch the Susan Smith parole hearing, uh, Lord Almighty, he broke my heart. He absolutely broke my heart listening to him and all of the others speak on um, on his side for the babies and the fact that she's never apologized, and they didn't take hardly any time to make their decision. They made their decision quickly, and it was unanimous. Her parole was denied, and they, from some things I've read, she has thrown a big ass fit. She immediately, when she heard, threw a huge, huge fit, and in Susan Smith's style, of course, it was everybody else's fault. The affair with the prison guards were the prison guards' fault. The latest one,
It is the prison guard's fault.
it is because they should not.
They're in
They
a
should know
position
better.
of power.
They should know better.
Mm-hmm.
With the last one was over somebody she was talking to, either on the phone or through emails, and they were going to do her documentary. And evidently, in that prison, that is a no. And again, that was a setup and somebody else's fault, not hers. Uh, her drug issues were not her fault, and the other things were not her. Nothing was her fault. Nothing was. I was just making a stupid decision, and I'm trying to do better. I'm going to counseling to not use drugs anymore. None of that. None of that. It was everybody else's fault when they asked her those questions. So I guess in 2 years, we will see. She has the right to do this again in 2 years, and we'll be back at it on her. Um,
What is it about women and crime that they can't take no accountability?
I don't know. I don't know. It is
I don't
just,
know one woman that's committed a crime that actually takes accountability, complete accountability for their crime.
I don't know. Eileen Warnock did. Warnock did. She, um, I mean, she did say it was, because of what she had gone through in her past, but she's like, just put me to death. I'm over it.
It's been so long ago, though.
Y'all have snow in New York. Yeah, it's going to be down into the freezing temps tonight, but, and we've been in the 60s the last few days, and we'll be in the 60s over the weekend, and then we'll have some 70s next week. So,
Yeah, somebody was in the 60s the other day when I had 4 inches of snow on the ground and was laughing at me.
that was me. I was laughing at you. We don't get winter really until about January, and then it's still, Now we do get some cold freaking weather, but it's not like what you
What
guys
do you call cold?
30s and 20s
Oh, God.
with ice. Look, we had a freeze last year and my whole fucking house froze up with the pipes. Even though I had the water running, they still froze. So that's fucking cold.
Oh, I
We
have
did have an
heat.
ice storm 4 years ago that like shut Texas down and our power grid shut down. We just don't. I mean, I live in the South for a reason.
Do you hear me?
Huh? Yeah.
I have heat.
You have heat? They got it fixed?
Yep. I guess the
Oh, yeah.
part come in earlier. He got out here this
Yay.
morning. I told him, I said, I've got doctor's appointments today, but here's the key. I'm going. Fix it. And he did.
Good. I'm glad they got it done. She's
Me
been
too.
without heat because her heat broke.
It broke last winter.
And so
The end of winter, but
because she was doing jury duty, she just didn't have time to get on it. And then she started working a bunch of hours where she could pay for it. And
I wanted to pay for it myself.
they come out the other day and they're like, we don't have the part. We have to order the part. And she's like, oh my God.
And I worked my butt off that week to make that much money to pay it in a week. You know how many hours I worked that week.
Did. It was insane. I'm like, you can't keep doing this. This is bad. But we'll be back Tuesday. That's my birthday. Y'all come celebrate with me. Let's have some laughs. I've been saving videos because we were going to do this for Kendall's birthday and she decided to work herself to death. So we didn't get to do it for Kendall's birthday. But I've got these creators I follow on TikTok that I literally can watch the same video 500 times and laugh myself to tears. And we'll pull up some other stuff.
I should have saved it. I watched the video this morning when I was at the doctor's office, and I had my earbud in, so I was sitting there just laughing my head off in this doctor's. I caught myself laughing out loud, and I've seen it before, but this couple was hilarious. Where they tie the balloon, or I guess it was a balloon. Yeah, I guess it was a balloon with water in it, and they put it on a ceiling fan. And they blindfold themselves, and they got
the water bottles. That's the couple. She's got blonde hair. He's got dark hair.
Yeah, maybe. I think this one was a balloon with water in it, though.
I'll send you the one that I'm watching. You can tell me if it's the same one because I laugh at their videos. Like, my God, they are so. And I don't know if I'm laughing because it's funny or their reaction to the whole thing is funny. But she'll like take her blindfold off while he's got his on and move. So he's still getting smacked with shit.
They have a lot of videos where they're always catching each other in pranks, and it's not like these set up pranks that are like, okay, we're going to plan this video and pretend like it's set up. Like, they really set each other up, and they do it in the worst.
One in this couple, then
they do it in the worst times. Like he hid at McDonald's, and she come through the drive-thru, and they pop these little things in each other's face, and it blows paint all over each other.
Oh, God.
And he hid at McDonald's drive-thru. So when she got up to the window to get her order, and like she stopped at the first window and paid for it, and then come up to the second window to get her stuff, and he pops up from behind the register and pops her. And they just all, like, I don't know how he managed to set that up inside McDonald's, but it was hilarious.
Oh, wow.
So nowhere is safe with those.
Well, this couple, they've got a few where they go to their date day and they'll go to different restaurants drive-thrus and like order an appetizer, and then they'll order their lunch, and they'll order and they'll just tell them, just order me whatever you would pick, and so they end up, like, one time they ended up with like 3 or 4 drinks at each one. They're like, I don't guess nobody eats. And they'll order they'll do those, and they'll do what did they do at Taco? They did something Taco Bell here a while back. But their one they've got with the balloon in the ceiling fan, or the water bottles in the ceiling fans. I laugh at that one every time I watch it. Like, I literally sat here yesterday with tears. It was so funny. But I'm gonna do stuff like that. So, just to have a good time. And because I don't know what the kids haven't said anything of what we're doing for my birthday. It's Christmas time, and I hate for everybody to go out to eat for my birthday. So I'll be, we'll probably do dinner at one of their houses or something. Because they, I hate them all spending their money. But everybody have a good weekend. I am out for a Christmas tree lighting tomorrow and a vendor event. Yes, Boone does remind me a lot of Betty Broderick. Absolutely. I need to do that case again. I love that case.
I don't
And
even know that case.
you don't know Betty Broderick?
Remind me.
She her husband was a lawyer and ended up divorcing her, marrying a younger woman, and she was a very long court battle, and she wanted all this money, and they were constantly fighting about money, and um, she ends up breaking into the house and killing him and her.
No, I don't recognize
You
it. I mind
remember?
if I got into it.
There were several made for TV movies about it. Um, it is and it is one of those. Even her kids are like, look, the two people she was a danger to are dead. Let her out. We're okay with her, and they will not give her parole because she still cannot take accountability. She still blames him for what she did. And now
It's never gonna work.
I
It's never
do
gonna
think
work.
I do think he abused the system because he was a lawyer. I do think that I I do feel bad for her in the fact that she did work double jobs to put him through college. Originally, he was going to medical school, and then he changed at the last minute after he was almost done and decided he wanted to be a lawyer. So she was constantly getting pregnant. She was losing babies. I believe, I could be wrong, there was an abortion at one point um, because she just couldn't handle another child. And she's putting him through school, and then they finally get the law firm, and he has his own law firm, right? And he's making all this money, and he starts buying young cars, and he starts doing this, and he dates the younger woman who he hires her, and she's not qualified to be a legal assistant, but he makes her the legal assistant. And so it was a lot of scorned spouse kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, I don't think it was fair to her, and I think it drove her crazy. I think it legit drove her crazy, and she took her daughter's keys and went into the home. She says she was going to take her own life that night, and they moved, and she jumped. It startled her, and she just shot them. But she was supposedly was going to go into their bedroom and shoot herself in front of them.
I'll have to look it up.
Yeah, it is an insane case. It's one of those that fascinates me. I used to know somebody. I'd have to see if I could find them on YouTube. That her family knew the new wife's family and knew her, and and of course, people make her a saint. And let's face it, she wasn't a saint. It was not fair what happened to her. She did not deserve to die, but she did start seeing a married man, and she did do some things that were kind of ugly. Like she would send her things about weight loss and wrinkle cream and things like that. So it just was kind of a back and forth for so long, and she just snapped. But anyways, everyone have a really good weekend and enjoy your families over the holidays, and we will see everybody back Tuesday.
Bye, ladies.
Bye, guys.